Buddy, this is OspreyEye from MyChartCoach.com. And in this video, we are going to take a look at the marijuana sector. Okay, so first up, let's take a look at the marijuana index. Yeah, so I highly recommend following this website here. It's got great information on the sector. As you can see here, this is the North American index. So notice how for today, it's up 10.49%. So nice follow through today after yesterday's strong move. So notice how it has a very nice vertical, strong uptrend going. Now take a look at the United States index. All right, so it pulled back today. Notice it started off strong today at the beginning of the day, but then it sold off and it closed well down near the low of the day. So it closed up only slightly up on the day. So this was there was some profit taking in the United States sector. If you look here at the 5-day chart, you can see it flatlined out today. So we want to keep an eye on it and keep an eye out for a possible some stocks pulling back tomorrow. So you want to keep an eye on the runners. If you look at the Canadian index, it was really strong today. Closed up 17%. This is on top of the huge move yesterday. It just broke out even higher. The Canadian index is on fire. It's still on blue sky breakout for many of the stocks in the sector, and many of them are just breaking out to new all-time highs. But when that happens, you still have to be on the lookout for a pullback. So let's take a look at Canopy Growth. This is ticker symbol TWMJF on the over-the-counter markets, and you can see here it's closed up another 10% today. So congrats everyone. It hit nearly $29. So this is an incredible move. You can see here today it almost hammer formed, and so in my book this is still signaling very similar to what a hanging man would signal. I mean, the only difference would be this very tiny wick. If it did not have that small upper wick on today's candle, it would have formed a bearish hanging man, which is a hammer formed after a gap up open during an uptrend, and so that many times signals a temporary top. So notice there was the gap up. The lower wick on today's candle did fill the gap. So that was good. The EMA4 down here at 25.72 is the key level to hold. If it drops below that level, that's when you can see some consolidation. So now that this near hammer formed, we just need to be on the lookout for a possible pullback into the bands. The intraday charts will signal first. This is a super strong uptrend. It broke out higher after this red candle in the big red volume bar. So this is an impressive push higher. The close below EMA4 will be the signal that the chart is finally starting to cool down. Let's look at ACBFF, the #2 top cannabis company, Aurora Cannabis. And so yeah, it's pushing super hard as well. Closed up another 19% today. Congrats everybody. It hit $12, just about $11.83. This is incredible. From when it broke out down here just above $2, the 250 range, all the way up to now 12. It's been an incredible 2-month move. There are some red flags on the chart. So first off, notice how today's candle is well above the upper Bollinger Band, which is down here. When you get the candles floating above the bands, many times they'll work their way back into the Bollinger Bands. Also, there is a gap, an unfilled gap between high of day yesterday, which is the top of yesterday's candle, and low of day today. A drop down to 950 would fill the gap. So if the candles work back into the bands, you want to see EMA4 at 930 hold. The other gaps, there is another gap down here as well. So there's a small gap way down here by the middle Bollinger Band. These other gaps are filled with the wicks. But today a bearish pattern did form. Bearish 3 gap ups reversal pattern. So this is when there are multiple gap up opens during an uptrend. And what it's telling you is the chart is getting frothy. The chart's getting ahead of its, the stock is getting ahead of itself. And that's also with the candle here floating above the upper Bollinger Band. Many times when that happens, the candles work back into the bands. As you can see here, RSI at 90 is confirming that it's at a very frothy level. Okay, so it did run a little bit higher the last time. You have Fasto up here at overbought levels. You have Plus DI hitting the previous level where it's topped out at in the past. So now we just have to be on the lookout for the chart cooling down. The swing trade signal is to keep riding, but be on the lookout for a possible pullback or at least a cool down. Okay, now let's look at Afria. This is possibly actually the #3 top company, APHQF, and they've been on one heck of an uptrend as well, super strong. Now you have RSI at 88 and Fasto at 94. If you could see down here, it's just been pushing super hard as well since November. Okay, in October, end of October, it got above the middle Bollinger Band down here around $6, and it just started riding EMA's 4 and 8 support higher. It's been a beautiful run. It's currently riding EMA 4 right now at 1575. You want to see that level hold. It's been holding for a very long time. The last close below was back in November. So a close below that level would be the first signal that, okay, it's cooling down. If it's holding, the signal is to just keep riding if you're a swing trader. Now we want to be on the lookout for the chart cooling down. This formed bearish 3 gap ups as well. So we have the same pattern with the same stocks. So we need to be on the lookout. And there was word out that Citron put out a release that they are shorting Aurora cannabis. They think that it's very overpriced and it could drop down to $6. So keep that in mind. The notorious bears are out attacking right now at these levels. So that's you just want to be on the lookout for see if they can get some traction. If that happens, you want to lock in gains, and then that sets you up for a reload lower. If you really like the company, if you sell at the high here and then it pulls back to $12, just think you'd be able to take a larger position if that's what you wanted to do. So so keep an eye on EMA 4. If it drops below, that would be a signal that it's cooling down. Another one that's just been pushing super hard. I'm only going to be able to do, these are the Canadian stocks. I'm only going to be able to do a few stocks for the Canadian and the US. We just have so many stocks running. You cannot chart them all. It's a sector-wide rally. There's just breakouts everywhere. Lots of strong charts. I'm just giving you a glimpse of what's going on. It closed up another 32% today. Once again, you have RSI at 92, Fasto at 99. This is so frothy, very, very overbought right now. You have the same pattern with the 3 gaps ups, so 1, 2, 3. So it has the same pattern going on where it's pushing really super hard. You could see it work its way back into the bands at 144. Notice last time it started correcting when you saw the red candle. It worked all the way back to the middle Bollinger Band. The middle Bollinger Band's way down at 85, so that is the downside risk if EMA 4 breaks. It could consolidate further. Back in November when it consolidated, it went back to the middle Bollinger Band as well. So just keep that in mind. All right. So people that are, this is where you're looking to lock in gains after these multi-day runs. I mean, look at all the volume bars. If you're a trader, I know people are writing these as longer-term investments, but if you're trading, you don't want to be chasing. You want to be locking them in at the top, and then you reload on the dip. And so so this is a nice rally. We'll see if it can continue. Okay, let's look at CBDs. Now we're going to look at some United States companies. Check it out. It closed up 30% today. It's pretty amazing. Look where it got to. It's up here near $10. This was a very thinly traded stock. I mean, it was such low volume that you could barely even cover it. Look at September and October where there was hardly any volume. It was trading down here at $2. There was no action, and then the volume started picking up in November, and then once it got above the moving averages here in December, it really got cooking. Notice how the volume is increasing as the share price is rising. So this huge volume spike today at the top. Notice how they pushed a high of day. That's a red flag. You have to be on the lookout now for a possible pullback. Notice that the last time it closed, this is called a white closing Marubozu candle. Sorry about that. And what it means, there's no upper wick on today's candle. And if you notice, the last time that happened, a red candle did form the next day. Notice it happened again back here. So patterns tend to repeat. So you have to be on the lookout for a red candle tomorrow, and the candle's working back into the bands. They could do that and drop all the way down to $8, and the chart would still be super strong. So just keep that in mind. This is a potential climax spike here. Now, if you look at the CBDs weekly or monthly chart, this is why I'm saying that this is at a key resistance level. You could see here you have to go back to 2014 and 2015 to see the prior levels being hit. Notice that it is breaking out this month above the January high close. So you want to see a close above that level for the month at 750, and then the high from January is being hit right now. That's that 975, and the reason why it's getting hit is because that was the closing price from January of 2014. So that's a huge level, this 975 level. If it can break above that, then the high close is up here at about $11, which is the closing price here from back in what is that, February or March? Yeah, February of 2014. So yeah, so it's 975, break that, and then it's 11. If it can close above 11 for the month, that would be very bullish, and then you could be talking about hitting these upper wicks up here, possibly running up to 15 or 18. If it stalls out at 9 and 11, you could see the candles work back into the bands. You really want to see it stay above 750 now that it's above that level. Okay, now we'll get into some that are cruising and really making some big moves. There's a lot of marijuana sector stocks that were up over 100% today, so we'll just show you a few of them. Here's and there's been a bunch that have been running like this for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, so this is what's been happening. Look at NUGS, it's up another 192% today. It's just crazy. Look where it's at. It hit up here in the $7 range. What was the high today? 713. I mean, when we first started talking about this, it was back here in the 10-cent range. So going from when it broke out above high close resistance down here, the alerts were put out. We got the PR, whatever it was. It heated up, and then it just took off. And now you're going from 10 cents all the way up to $7. I mean, that's a monster percentage gain. This is why people play the penny stocks. This is the type of move. Notice how it started off, with hardly any volume before, and then it really picked up. So just keep that in mind. A lot of these will start off very quiet. There's no volume before this, and then they can get really moving. And then once again, you have the big volume spike at the top. So we need to be careful of a potential cool down. Notice that the MACD lines are getting very perpendicular. That is unsustainable. If you look out here, where we had to go out for this stock to find resistance was way back here in 2005 and 2006. So yeah, I know I showed this chart to you already. I should have saved it, but yeah, this is the big levels to break. It's hitting back here in 2005, 2006. If it can get above this 6 to 8 zone, then it could possibly run up here back up to to much higher levels. So this is the key level to break. This is a huge level from December and January, December 2005, January 2006. So we'll see if it can break out higher. I mean, look at this move. This is from 3 cents all the way up to $7. That's why people play penny stocks. Yeah, huge moves. Okay, so yeah, let's look at CRWG. Okay, so this stock, we're going to look at a weekly chart here. It's up 263% on the week. So I want to show you this chart because it's hitting the key resistance levels after a huge move. This is another one. Look how it was trading down here at 004, 004. All the way up to zero, up above 6 cents, hitting 7 cents. I mean, that's a huge move in a couple of weeks. So this week it's breaking above that 200-week moving average, which is the red line, and it's hitting the 300-week moving average. It needs to close above 7 cents for the week to head higher. If it fails to close above that level, that could signal the temporary top. If it pulls back below that 200-week moving average, then you can see the candles work back into the bands and test EMA4 at 3 cents. Okay, let's look at VAPI. Okay, this chart's hard to read. I'll get rid of the Bollinger Bands to make it easier, but you could see here this was up 100% today. Notice that it was it's breaking out. Let me get rid of these Bollinger Bands. It should make it easier to read. Here you go. See, it's breaking out today. It did form the long upper wick, and so this is a profit-taking wick. We need to be careful here. It's been on this nice multi-day run. It went from 8. Look down here. It was at 8 cents, and then it ran all the way up to 75. I mean, this is nearly. If you look at the low down here at 6 cents, I mean, this is 1,000% gain in a few days. So you need to be looking for profit-taking here. If you look at the 15-minute chart, you can see that it's starting to break down here, and yeah, we've been watching this chart and looking for potential pullback. Okay, so yeah, it's just getting very frothy right here, and so we want to be on the lookout for this middle Bollinger Band turning into resistance. That's this red line right here in the middle, the dark red, and so yeah, if it turns into resistance, you could see a drop down here to the 50 simple moving average at 22. Yeah, let's look here. Yeah, and if you looked at the daily chart one more time, check out the. Let's look at this just real quick. I'll show you. You could see the upside potential here. You can see it's at 30 cents, and then this was a big resistance zone from back here in 2015, and if it can get above, that 65 was the next level that was hit. There's not much trading back up here. So this could keep working its way into dollar land. Maybe not right away, but it could be heading that direction, so keep an eye on it. Okay, let's look at XSNX. This is another marijuana sector play. It broke out this week. It closed up 146 today after a huge move yesterday. As you can see here, it's hitting that 3-2 resistance zone from back here in January and February. So this is the big level to break. February of 2017. So right now 0043 is the big level. If they can get through this 003 zone, and then 0054. If they can close above 54, that would be a signal that it wants to break out higher. As you can see, it traded at much higher levels back in 2015. So it's all about breaking above 0054. And then yeah, if you look here, this just started trading, started breaking out from very tight Bollinger Bands yesterday, and it closed above the 200 and 300-day simple moving averages. That's the blue and the red line, and that signaled more upside potential. It's currently trading above all the moving averages on the daily chart. If those levels hold, it should continue pushing higher, so keep an eye on it. Let's look at HPMM. Okay, so this is another stock that's heating up. As you can see here, it just started trading, it looks like, back here in October. That's what this chart is showing. And as you can see here, I'll get rid of the Bollinger Bands. It's heating up. It has the volume spike today, and it has the big volume bar. Okay, so it had some news here. Keep an eye on it. Let's see if HPMM can break out. Let's see above high close resistance right here. The closing price from back here on the what is? Oh, I can't see it because of this down here. Yeah, from the November or November the 9th. So if it can get above 41 here, November 9th, that would be a signal that it wants to break out higher. There's no horizontal resistance above that level, so that's the top. The volume spike is interesting. Keep an eye on it. We'll see if it can push higher. Let's look at IGPK. It closed up at 188% today after very tight Bollinger Bands. It broke out above all the moving averages. As you can see here, they're converged, the 100, 250, and 300-day simple moving averages. It is breaking out higher above them. Yeah, once again, getting rid of the Bollinger Bands will make it easier to read. You can see the moving averages, the big breakout. It did have the pullback from high of day, so there was some profit taking. The giant volume spike. As you can see here, it broke out above resistance from 2017, so it's above the high close resistance level, which was a very strong close. That's exactly what you wanted to see, above the closing price here from January 24th. And so that signals more upside potential. And so now it's working on these previous levels. As you can see back here, I mean, you want to probably go out to maybe a monthly chart, and you can see where resistance will be at. So you can see on the monthly chart, it's hitting the 50-month moving average here at 27. If it can break above that, at 0.027, it could run higher. You can see the 100 week or month moving average is only up here at 30 cents. So yeah, so this has upside potential if it can break above that 50-month moving average. So keep an eye on it. And then one more to leave you with is CBCA. As you can see here, it closed up 278% today. They came out today with a deal. You can see it on the right over here with an ICO thing going on with CBIS, ticker symbol CBIS, which was up about 7% today. CBIS has been around for a long time. So yeah, these guys have not filed. They're delinquent on their filings. So this is a risk to trade. It's interesting that CBIS hooked up with them because they are rolling the dice. So these guys must be credible, because it could really ruin CBIS if they weren't. So just keep that in mind. This is breaking out above the moving averages. It had the huge volume spike today. Now it's a part of the crypto and the MJ play at the same time, both the blockchain play and the marijuana sector play. So it's firing on all cylinders. We'll see if it can break out higher. Okay, thanks everybody for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, I'll post the link at the bottom of the YouTube video. And as you can see here, this has just been trading since 2015, and then getting above this high close here around 750 will be the big key level to break. You want to see it stay above these moving averages now that it has broken above this. You want to see it stay above 175. Okay, all right, thank you for viewing this video.